It's January. Are we depressed yet? Can I start my video like that? I can start my video like that, that's fine. Disclaimer in the caption. It's January, this is my first video of 2023. Happy New Year. I hope you're not depressed. I hope you're feeling okay. I know this month is really hard. It's like the longest, most dreary month. Not that you can tell because it's quite a sunny day today. So the sun's like right there. The disco ball's going, although I don't think, yeah, the sun's not hitting it right to hit it on the wall there. So I've got like a party going on in here. And honestly, I'm feeling okay. I'm not depressed yet. I am somebody that struggles with January though, so you know, it's probably gonna happen at some point. It's not an easy month, but we're here, we're doing it, we're gonna get through. Let's do this. Today's video is I'm gonna talk a little bit about my planty goals for 2023. I've never really, like, I've had goals in mind over the years of keeping houseplants, but I've never really like actually written them down and I suppose had somewhere to be held accountable. So we're doing it this year. I'm gonna write them down. I've written them down. I'm gonna tell you, and hopefully throughout the year we can kind of check up on me, see how I'm doing. So let's talk about the goals. This is quite a chatty video. I will be pulling some plants out to show you where they're at now, because obviously some of my goals is to make my plants look good, like some specific plants I want to work on. But it's quite a chatty one, so hope you enjoy. There's probably gonna be a few hand movements. Let's just enjoy it. So I'm not usually one for kind of setting like New Year's resolutions. Can you hear that siren? I'm sorry if you can hear that siren. I'm not normally one for setting New Year's resolutions. Typical little old ADHD brain doesn't stick to things. So I used to, many years ago, I would kind of, spend New Year's Eve kind of writing out my new calendar, setting up some goals, and then was lucky if I got into like February and I was still working on them. I've really struggled to do any kind of New Year's resolutions. So I'm not calling them New Year's resolutions, I'm just calling them goals for 2023, because it feels a bit more like broad, like realistic. I don't know. I think especially because they're related to plants, I'm definitely more likely to stick with them. Like, plants are the only hobby that have really stuck for me it's known that people with ADHD like pick up loads of hobbies, like get all the stuff, get really excited and then get bored and like move on to the next, and like plants are the only thing that have stuck. And I think I know why, but that's not today's video. If you're interested, let me know and I'll do a little video on it. But let's get into the plant goals. My first goal, they're in no particular order, but my first one that I've written down is to learn more about nutrition. So I have like minimal knowledge, like plants need food, they need plants need food, they need fertilizing. I know that. I do it when they're growing. I'm probably not the best, so maybe I need to like add in, like, be better at feeding my plants, because sometimes it can, like, I like to think that I'm quite a consistent feeder, but actually when I really think about it, sometimes I'll notice a plant is thirsty and I'll just quickly whip some water in there and I won't even think about getting the fertilizer out. So be better at fertilizing and learn more about it. Like, I know there's the NPK on a lot of fertilizers, and I have like really minimal knowledge on kind of what it is, what those nutrients do for the plants. Like, I want my knowledge to be so sound and like confirmed in my brain that I can just be like blah 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 like just spew out the information, because it's just so solidly in my brain. Like, I really struggle with recalling information, so for me to know something so clearly, like, I would have really worked on it for it to be like really cemented in my brain. So that is kind of where I want my knowledge of fertilizers to go. and I would like to get much better at it. So I've had like CalMag on my list of things to buy for my plants for like since the beginning of summer last year, and I just never did it. And I really feel like CalMag could be really helpful for my plants. So yeah, I just want to get better at giving my plants nutrients and having the knowledge as to like why they need that nutrients, and maybe like spotting when a plant might need that nutrient. So like sometimes like I see some YouTubers like looking at their plant and being like, oh, I feel like it needs some more of this, so I'm giving it this. And I'm like, I can tell you when my plant is thirsty, and it's not a bad thing to just be like, I'm not saying any kind of plant parenting is better than the other. I would really like to now take my knowledge of nutrients and fertilizing to like the next level, and just have a really clear, solid understanding of nutrients in 2023. So that's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is learn more about the kind of natural environments for plants. And I think this is probably more to do with like when I import plants, maybe, because I suppose most of the plants that like I can go out and buy kind of in plant shops or in garden centres near me are plants that have, they're plants that are, you know, they do well in homes. Like if they're being mass produced enough to be in garden centres and in like plant shops, they are most likely pretty solid house plants. Like they probably don't need like special conditions. But with like the plants that I get from Ecuagenera, like I think specifically probably more about this goal is probably more around Anthuriums, because I would really like to increase my Anthurium collection this year, and some of them have really different growing environments, and I think I'd just like to have a bit more knowledge around kind of where they come from, like which parts of the world, what kind of like natural light they would be getting, and what kind of natural humidity they'd be getting, just so that I can try and mimic that to the best of my ability, so that they can grow to like, I mean, not their full potential because they're not in their natural habitat, but like as good as they can, like so that they can grow as good as they could in not their natural environment. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's goal number 2. Goal number 3 is get Hoyas growing. So I'm going to pull out some individual plants that I would really like to like make look amazing this year, but I'm not going to pull out all my Hoyas. But I feel like the majority of my Hoyas are quite small and they're not really doing much, and that might be because it's kind of winter time, and I haven't, obviously if you've watched any of my last few videos you'll probably know that I've not been very into plants right now, so I've not really been trying to create a nice environment with, you know, lots of nutrients and stuff for them, so that might be why they're not really doing much. And it might be that come kind of springtime they start to wake up and we're all dandy. But I would really like to try and grow them, because there's I was recently in this is a slightly off topic, but it's part of the reason why this goal's been put on here. I was recently in a favourite Hoyas of 2022 collab video that, what is her YouTube handle? Is it Plants and Yoga with Rose? Plant with Rose, I think she's on Instagram. She did this massive collab with like loads of different YouTubers, and we all shared our favourite Hoyas of 2022, and kind of watching that back, there are some nice Hoyas out there, and I'm not about to become a Hoya head. Like I really do love my big leafy plants, and I don't think that's ever going to go away, but there were some really nice Hoyas on there, and I think what I would like to be able to do is maybe trade for a few different ones, which is why I need my Hoyas to get growing, because a lot of mine are not really they're not really in a choppable position because there isn't enough of the plant. So that's why. I would like to get my horrors growing. I'd like to trade and get some more. And I guess that comes on to the next goal, because I've put trade more this year. I would really like to spend less on plants this year, because you may have picked up, you probably know that you know, me and Steve are going full time because we want to be able to get a mortgage, buy a house, do all the grown-up things, because we rent at the moment, and we're planning on taking that kind of next step, you know, in the game of life kind of thing. We want to get our own place. So I don't think I spend loads and loads on plants throughout the year, but I spend more on plants and kind of other stuff that comes with the hobby, like substrates and stuff, then I guess I need to, and I need to curb that a little bit this year. So I would like to try and counteract that by doing more trades and kind of swapping plants and getting plants for free for like the price of another plant, if that makes sense. So yeah, trading more, which then goes with the next goal, which is chopping more. And I do really struggle with chopping my plants, and I think that's because they kind of grow, you know, they kind of grow with me, and I get really attached to the way that they look and the way that they've kind of grown. And if I don't like the way they're looking, then I'll chop them, no problem. But if a plant starts to look like looks really good, like I'm really proud of the way it's grown, I really struggle to chop them when I'm enjoying the way they look. But I also know that there are so many benefits that can come with chopping and propagating our plants. So this is one I feel a bit nervous putting out there. But I would like to try and chop my plants some more this year. For the good of the plants. Some pruning will do them good, I'm sure. Okay, so next is like my little list of plants that I would like to glow up. So I'm gonna kind of grab them, talk about them, grab them, yeah. First up on my list of plants I would like to like glow up this year is my Philodendron 69686. It was looking so good. Like at the beginning of December, it was looking so good, and now it looks like this. Like I just picked it up and this leaf just fell off. Like here's the petiole still, like pretty solid on the stem, and the leaf has just fallen off. Like, yeah, that'll make a cute leaf skeleton if it works, but I wanted it attached to the plant. I don't know. There's no pests on it. The only thing I can put it down to is cold damage. Like it did dry out a little bit, but this plant is used to drying out. Like it's not this dramatic. I don't think drying out is what caused this. Like I can still see the roots, they're still pretty healthy, like it's fine, the roots are fine. But it did get really cold. We had like a cold snap, middle of December, and it did get down to like 10 degrees inside, which is cold for like inside a house. Like it should be more like, I mean, above 50, like 16, 17, 18, like around there. So we hit 10 degrees in here, like overnight, because we don't keep the heating on overnight. Can't sleep with that heat. And I feel like this is the plant that's like suffered the most. Like it's dusty as anything, but like look at these leaves. But when I put this one on the pole, I was so excited. Like I really thought I was going to get these massive, amazing leaves. And I was really looking forward to like glowing it up, like really having like this massive plant in 2023. And now I feel like it's just going to be a rehab, because let's face it, all of these leaves are just going to, I mean, die off. Like some of them look okay. Most of them don't. So it's going to end up being kind of, I mean, hopefully it like keeps keeps these bigger leaves. It's just going to be like one of those like stems with like a couple of leaves. It's going to look ridiculous. So I'm probably going to have to chop it and start again, which I will share with you. Because what could be nice is if I have to chop it and start again and it's kind of like, you know, down here and we see it grow quite big throughout 2023. That's going to be the hope. So this is going to be a glow up that I wasn't expecting to have to work so hard on. But there we go. First plant that I want to glow up in 2023. So the next plant is my Philodendron Florida Beauty. I'm just having a little look. I haven't pulled it out in a little while, so I'm just looking to see if there's any sexy root growth going on. Not really that I can see. The ones I can see look fine, but they're not like new and fuzzy, you know? So my plans for my Philodendron Florida Beauty is to get it on a pole. I want big mature leaves. That is what I want. So I'm going to get it on a pole. I'm going to work on my fertilizer knowledge, and we are going to, I'm saying it here, really, I guess the risk is that it, like, everything goes downhill. But I'm saying it here, the goal is to get some nice mature leaves, like, you know, the really, the beautiful shape, and to like keep the variegation. Maybe if it like grows really well and really fast, maybe chopping it. Who knows? But I mean, if it stays like this, I'm not doing anything. But if it gets big, which is the goal, I might do some chopping of this plant, because I mean, I'd love to like pass it on in some of those trades that I was talking about, but also I'd quite like a bushier one, so I might like to put like one or two in the same pot. But yeah, this is another one that's we're gonna glow up. Gonna really look after you this year. Next plant that I'm gonna be concentrating on this year is this one. This is my Monstera deliciosa Brazilian common form. I would really like to get some more mature leaves, like it's put out. I mean, this whole, like this leaf, and this one are all grown in my care. They are on a whole new growth point, because it was a top cutting, but like the top cutting died off, so it was almost like a mid cut. So this is a whole new growth point. I want to get this onto a pole. I would love some really big mature leaves on this plant. This is probably not one that I will chop unless things go really well and it gets massive. That's that one. I think almost all of my Anthuriums could be on this list. But I'm just going to talk about a few that I specifically really want to see like just look insane by the end of this year. Obviously my Anthurium requieanum, it's growing so weird. Like both of these leaves used to face like forward, and now they've turned, which I know is because obviously they sit in the cabinet behind me and the windows are here. So when the lights are on at the moment, but the majority of the day the light is coming from this angle, so they're obviously all like turning to face the window, which is a bit annoying. But without having like grow lights stood directly in front of the cabinet at all times, I don't really think I can do anything about that. So I'm just gonna have to accept the like wonky side growth. But we are hoping for some amazing while I'm talking to you, I'm just literally like peeling this old sheath back to see what's going on underneath, and I probably could have just done that on camera. So this little, if you can see it even remotely, is the next new leaf. Just gonna leave that like that. So yeah, Anthurium requieanum, my queen. I want to glow her up. I want big leaves. That's that Anthurium that I want to can't think of the words that I want to stop saying glow up. That I want to grow to a more mature specimen. That's the next Anthurium. Right, oh, for goodness sake. That's the first Anthurium that I would like to grow to a more mature specimen. Jeez. How am I going to edit that out? The next one is my Anthurium papilolaminum. You can see that it's just a 2-leafer. Like, it had quite a few leaves at one point, and I let it dry out. I let it dry out way too much, and then when I gave it a drink, ooh, there's a lot of, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's a lot of like brown rotten roots in there. So I could probably do with repotting it, but there's also some really good new green roots. But it definitely needs to be repotted, and hopefully then we can get some more leaves. I really hope it can continue sizing up. So these two have been the biggest leaves so far, and I want to try and get this one into the cabinet if I can make it fit in there in a nice way. It's kind of awkward because it's like, it looks like it's had an argument. Like, even that would be easier to work with, and it kind of leans forward. The main reason for me wanting to get it into the cabinet is to try and help with the leaves unfurling. Like, you can see that both of these are damaged, and that happened when they were unfurling. And to be fair, both of these came out in like the heat of the summer, so like humidity was down. I just couldn't keep on top of like spraying it whilst it was coming out to help it not rip. So I would really like some like big perfect leaves, and I know like perfect leaves are not always the goal, but I would really like some big perfect leaves on this one. So that's those two. Let me grab the other Anthuriums. Next one is my Anthurium nigrolaminum GG. I would just really like to continue getting some growth on it. The roots are looking great. These like new ones here are quite a nice like kind of peachy colour. That's cute. If you've watched my Ecogenera like updates video, you'll know that this one did have a new leaf and I snapped it. So I just like it to get growing new leaves again. I'd really like some really big ones because these get like big. So I just want to size it up a little bit. So that's that goal. My Anthurium peltigerum is working on its leaf so it came with this leaf when it was imported, and it's still kind of stretching out and doing something. I would really like this one to get some roots. That's my goal for this year. I've heard they're really, really hard to root, and honestly, I believe it. It's not, it doesn't seem to be rooting, so would like some roots for this one. Obviously I'd like some, you know, beautiful leaves as well, but roots, if all you can do is grow some roots in 2023, that will be success. But please grow some leaves too. It looks like we might actually lose this leaf. It is yellowing slightly. It's fine. The other Anthurium that I'm wanting to really just grow is this little one, which is my Anthurium moodianum. You'll have seen me like, there's like two little ones in here. You will have seen me pot them into these tiny little pots. They hated it. It was in pon. They absolutely hated it. I don't think they had enough of a root system to do that with. So back in water, and the roots are growing, and I would really like it to get out of this stage, so that if, you know, just a little backstory, if you don't know, I bought this as a plant. It was quite a small plant, but it really struggled being shipped. It ended up being like a stump, and then these two little growth points have grown off of that stump, so they're like little pups. The stump completely rotted, so they had to be separated from it. Like, if I could have kept them on there for longer, I would have. They've had to like fend for themselves, and I think they were too small to be doing that really, which is why I think we've both struggled. The roots are looking, they're definitely growing. They're the longest they've been, so fingers crossed we can get them a bit longer, get them into a different substrate, get some nutrients in, and really just kind of create this as a more, what's the word, stable. A more, I can't think of what the word is, but like a plant. A more something plant. Like robust, secure, stable. None of those are the words I mean, but they're like similar. Like I just want it to be a plant and not this tiny struggling little pup in water. So that's those. So yeah, like I said, I think I could show you all of my Anthurium really, like my sagittatum, my Baccarii, all of, I say all, like all three of my like Crystal Hope seedlings. I would love them all to just have amazing growth spurts over this next year and just be really real chunky leafy Anthuriums. The sun has gone and it's raining. Sorry that's probably a really dramatic light change. Just open the curtain a little bit over there. Did that help at all? I don't know. I'm sorry about that. So the other goals that I've got for 2023 are around YouTube, and I'd like to work on like my lighting for videos so that it's more stable. And I mean, today's video is probably a really classic example of how using daylight is, you know, great some of the time, and then I mean there's no controlling it. It probably looks really, I mean, not as great as it did, so I'm sorry about that. But that was one of my goals, was to like get a better understanding of lighting and just like editing videos in general. I guess that's the kind of behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't see but might be aware of if you make your own videos. I'd like to get better at that side of things. I would potentially like to work on shortening my videos, or at least some of them. Like some of them get up to, you know, 40, 45, some of them have been over an hour long I think, and I personally really enjoy long videos. Like I like putting them on and then kind of pottering around, and I often need something going so that I can do things, so I quite like long videos for that. But I would also like to try and make some shorter ones, partly also because I'm going full-time. I'm going to have less time to film, so I don't want filming and editing a video to take up like one of my days off at the weekend. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. They're not all going to be short by any means, because I'm quite a dithery, chatty person, and there's only so much I can edit out, so we'll see. Work on editing, film more outside. So I would like to film more, or at least just practice. I know I'm not going to feel comfortable doing it for a long time, but I'd like to practice going outside and filming. So I did start that kind of like series where I show you places to shop for plants in Bristol, and I'd like to do more of that, but I do feel really uncomfortable filming outside around people, so that's something I'd like to practice and do more of in the new year, so look out for those videos. I would quite like to do some more collabs, so doing the one with Rose was really fun. I think that's quite a different kind of collab. Like I didn't meet her or anybody else that was part of that video, it's just kind of filming in here and then it being put together by Rose, which is phenomenal really. That would have been a lot of effort and a lot of time to make that video. Like I'll have it linked down below so that you can check it out if you're interested in seeing it, because that would have been a lot of effort to make that video. But you know, collabs with people, like I know a couple of kind of planty YouTubers that I could potentially meet up with, or yeah, I don't know, just like to do some more collabs really, get kind of solidify myself within the planty YouTuber community. So that's a personal goal for me. And my final kind of planty YouTube goal for 2023 is to get to 1k subscribers by August. I will have had my channel a year then. I started it just after my birthday last year, and like it's not all about how many subscribers. Oh my God, that's such a hard word for me to say quickly. It's not about how many subscribers I have. Like, I didn't start this channel to monetize it, but if I could, that would be great. Like, if you don't know, to monetize your YouTube channel, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and then you have to have 4,000 watch hours, which isn't like views on a video, it's like how long somebody's actually sat and watched your video for. Like, that's what counts. And I thought that was going to be the difficult thing to hit. Like, that seemed more challenging, but it looks like I'm going to hit that way before I hit 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Like, whenever I like look to see where I'm at with it, I'm like, that many hours of my videos have been watched. Like, it's been really interesting to like watch that number change. Yeah, if I think about it too much, I get a little bit, freaks me out a little bit. Like, they're just that many hours like people have sat and watched my videos. Anyway, tangent. Yeah, it's not about monetizing and it's not about numbers, but if I could make some money out of this hobby that I'm really enjoying doing, like, every little helps, especially when I'm saving to buy a house. I'm gonna keep making videos whether I hit that goal or not, but if I could do it within a year of being on YouTube and creating videos, like, I'd really love that. So yeah, that's a little YouTube goal. I've talked about all of the things on my list. No more came to me whilst I was talking, although I imagine throughout the year there'll probably be new ones that pop up. I will have some videos kind of around some of those goals, like not necessarily, not the YouTube ones, but like the learning more about nutrition. I'm gonna put out some knowledge that I learn to share with you all so that you can also learn. I think I need to add I'm gonna add another YouTube specific or like filming goal, and that's to get better at ending videos. Like, I edit out so much at the end of my videos, where like I try and round up, like try and summarize what I spoke about, and then round up like succinctly. Is that the word? And I say the same thing several times in different ways, and then I finally end the video. And honestly, it can be like, it can add 20 odd minutes onto the amount of time that I've already filmed, and I have to edit it all out. And I need to get better at ending videos, so gonna add that on to the list. Get better at ending videos. So those were my Planty goals for 2023. Thank you so much for watching. Have you got any goals for 2023 for your plants, or like Planty related goals? Let me know. I'd love to hear them. Pop them in the comments and we can chat there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited about what this year on YouTube's going to look like, and I'm really excited that you're going to be here with me. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if it's given you any kind of inspiration for goals of your own. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!